Good day, everyone. So I'm scratching my head and I'm just wondering, is the standard really this low in Genshin Impact? Are players genuinely so bad that we need to put out an event with a bunch of trial characters with an enormous amount of buffs with a generous 30-minute time limit just so that little Timmy does not feel too anxious when he's playing this game? Because holy crap, is this just sad? This is such a sad state for where we were in terms of combat and combat difficulty. I'm just thinking like back to the Omni Chamber that we had with Tartaglia and what's his name, Xinyan. That was like a good and fun, exciting times. But this is just pure sadness. This just doesn't feel rewarding in any way. So in the background, I'm using trial characters because, well, my own characters blitz through this like it's nothing. So I thought, well, for a video, let's just use the trial characters. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of the little AR-50 9-year-old Timmy that is using a defense circlet on his Hu Tao because somehow he thinks that'll help her survive longer because she loses health whenever he presses E. Yes, there are genuinely people out there that are like that. And this is probably the event that is made for people like that because I cannot believe that Hoyo I cannot believe that they probably don't take us seriously as players. Because what is this? The combat is boring, and the concept of a dungeon, the concept that you have to run around, there's a time limit, you have to trade off resources, or like versus progression. So for instance, you might be low on health, so you stabilize the team, but that's going to cost you in terms of time. That is good fun design, but it's not good fun design when the enemies are literally level 80 and you just cough and they're dead. It's just that's not fun. Make the enemies level 100, give them 3 or 4 times their health multiplier, make them attack faster, make them spawn faster, make it a true fun challenge. Because yeah, I don't know. Look, the Hoyo devs clearly have enough machinery. They've got all the tools to create a good end game sort of combat loops, and even events like this can be really fun. All you need to do is you just need to sort of gatekeep it by a person's AR and their progression. In other words, everyone can get the primo gems because what you do is you just tier the level, or you just scale the event to scale with players level, and then what you do is you add in the optional super difficult modes. Like, this is the thing, optional opt-in content with a very clear message that you give to players that they can easily at any time opt out if this is too difficult, is what should be given to us. We should have optionality, and Hoyo takes this away from us by saying you will all play the same event with the same difficulty because we don't want to offend our poor little TCG casual lovers. And it's just like, really? The other thing that I find very problematic with a game mode like this is the fact that we have a lot of characters that have been recently released that are now available on trial. In other words, if you are someone that missed out if you're someone that got the characters you saved up for a very, very long time, then yeah, obviously you can use them in a game mode like this, and that would have been rewarding if the game mode had been difficult. This would have been a very nice way for you to showcase your progression. But instead, what we have is, well, me as someone that did not get Sinnoh, I can play with Sinnoh. If you didn't get Nahida, well, you've got an entire event, you've got 30 minutes per play session to thoroughly just mess around with the character. And in a certain sense, it kind of feels icky because everything is about FOMO. It's about limited time. It's about cheating you out of your primo gems and hard-earned progression. All that time and effort you put in as an F2P, and you lose the 50-50, and now Hoyo's like, well, cough up. So you cough up, you get the character, and oh, lo and behold, here's an event where everyone can play the character that was supposed to be exclusive, that was supposed to feel special to you, that you've sort of earned, that you've really worked hard on, that you might have even saved up real life money for. Oh yeah, here's that character in an event. Oh, and by the way, the event is so watered down such that you won't really get any meaningful playtime out of that sort of trial character. It's just, yeah, I don't know. They've kind of lost the plot. The way in which you're supposed to reward players is to say, look, We are going to give you variety in terms of combat and content, and we know that variety is anxiety inducing to low AR players. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a very, very clever system. This clever system says we've got TCG, a card game that anyone can play. It doesn't depend on your account progression. It's for the little casual AR-50 Timmies of the world. But what we're also going to do is we're going to give you a Mondstadt Spiral Abyss. We're going to give you an Inazuma Omni Chamber dungeon. We're going to give you a Sumru Mystic dungeon or whatever, or Misty dungeon, whatever it is here. And this is going to be the difficulty, the variety that in-game players really, really want. But there's going to be one thing that we're going to do. Between all of the permanent game modes that we have, we are going to put in an overall Primogem cap every 2 weeks. In other words, if someone wants to get all of the Primogems, they can do so by exclusively only playing TCG, and they don't need to worry about the combat. And likewise, those people that do not want to play TCG can play a bit of Spiral Abyss, they can play a bit of the Inazuma dungeon. They'll have enough combat content to make up their Primogem quota. And lo and behold, if you wish to play all of the activities, as all of these are legitimate permanent sort of content, well then you're more than welcome to do so, with the understanding that they won't be rewarding, but at least if you are someone that wants to keep on progressing, keep on improving, there will be sufficiently difficult content to sort of keep you playing. There will be a gameplay loop that can keep on going. And yes, TCG can have a legitimate end game loop. The only problem with TCG is, like I've sort of said, is that you buy Scaramouche as a character, and well, that means absolutely nothing. But if you buy Scaramouche, well, for all of these end game sort of combat events that we've got, your purchase means something. There's a meaning in you grinding out your character and leveling them up, and going between all of the dungeons in the overworld, playing in the overworld, perfecting how you use the character and in what teams. It's almost like the characters are fundamentally tied to the combat. Who would have guessed? But if we take this away, then there's very little reason to actually get it. And if we keep on putting out little jokes of events like this, then honestly, I think you are just sort of killing people's motivation to play the game. And no, Honkai is not a replacement. Zenless Zone or whatever other games that are going to come are not going to be replacements. And the reason is very, very simple. Time. Very, very few people have the time or the resources to sort of go into those games and spend so much money such that they can be at the level where all the people are that effectively grind it out. So no, that's not going to work. What matters is this. This is the only game that matters practically for most people, and Hoyo seems to think that, well, no, it doesn't. It's supposed to be just a fun little joke. And to me, that's really sad, because honestly, Genshin is without a doubt one of the best games ever, but the direction it's going in is certainly worrisome. Yeah, on that somber note, thanks for watching. Cheers.